All right, so we're gonna do this movie called Under Her Control. Whew. So we got this girl by the name of Sofia, her boyfriend Nacho. They end up smashing in the house. He ends up giving her the business. The crazy thing is he's some type of like renovator or something. So she leaves and then this couple comes and they're actually supposed to be showing her the house. I'm like, wow. He just smashed his girlfriend and the house he's supposed to be showing this couple. Crazy. So she's supposed to be working as a sales clerk. Then she gets this call. Then she goes to this church and she starts praying about it, hoping that she gets the job. Apparently it's for this job and this lady that works there is this owner by the name of Beatrice. And I guess she makes like dresses for a living. She's like a millionaire. And I guess she sells to a bunch of different companies or organizations and whatnot. Sophia tells her her background. She says she's got a couple of bachelor's degrees and stuff like that. And she's really good at what she's doing. So Sophia ends up becoming Beatrice's financial advisor. Now, Nacho's got this thing set up where he could possibly go back to Colombia and make some real money. But Sophia's in this position where she can make a shit ton of money. Now, Nacho actually wants to start a family with her one day. But Sophia's in the best position to make some real deal money. And on top of that, working for a millionaire. So Beatrice ends up taking Sofia on all these like corporate meetings or whatever like that, but she's not allowed to be able to join the meetings just yet. So then she starts throwing up in the bathroom, come to find out she's actually pregnant. Now her profession, she has to maintain a whole lot of like male egos and whatnot and stuff like that. So if she ends up being pregnant, it could slow down a lot of money with like tycoons and corporate investors and stuff like that. So she's thinking to herself she might lose her job. So she ends up going to church and making some confessions. And the crazy thing is she's conflicted because she doesn't know if she wants to get an abortion or not. So Sophia the next day ended up having to make a terrible decision and had to fire one of the people that's working there because this lady to miss like 10 days of work within like the last couple of months. Now the thing is, this lady has a daughter and her daughter has a certain type of condition. But the thing is, this lady's been working there for like the last 15 years. And they basically want to compensate her and give her this ridiculous severance pay in order for her to just leave the company. I'm like, wow. So Sophia talks to Beatrice about the decisions that she had to make and she starts breaking down crying. Then while they talk, she ends up throwing up, and then Beatrice realizes the situation. She finds out that Sophia is pregnant. But the thing is, she hadn't told Nacho yet. Matter of fact, she hasn't told anybody. The only person she told was Beatrice. Now, Beatrice has this best friend by the name of Christy. She works in this clinic, and her husband works in there too. So the thing is, secretly, Beatrice has always wanted a kid. And she likes the way Sophia works, so here's the situation. She gives her a situation where Sophia can be compensated and be able to stay with the company. But the reason why her doctor friends have to come into play is because of this. She wants Sophia to give her the baby. That way, Sophia will be well paid off and Beatrice will finally be able to get her baby. The thing is, they wonder, like, why would she try to adopt? I guess there's something in her background that won't let her adopt kids. And being the fact that she's too old to have any, this puts her in the best position for her and Sophia. Now, you think it would be an easier situation for someone else to be able to be the significant other to somebody else's kid, but here's the problem. In this country, it's mostly illegal to do that. This is where her doctor friends come into play. They're going to be able to help her out get through this red tape and all this other stuff. But the thing is, Sophia can't be seen. So they're going to have Sophia live in Beatrice's private house for like 6 months. Because at this point, she's probably already 3 months in. And yes, she's going to be away from Nacho. Now, this is probably easily going to become a problem. But Sophia has time to think about this and she finally signs the contract. She goes back home to tell Nacho that she's going to be in Europe. Now, you thinking to yourself, Nacho is having a hard time with all of this. But she convinces him it's going to be okay and I'm be there, saying, just trust me. I promise everything will be good. She says she's going to Europe for like 6 months so she can claim enough money so that way they'd be happy or whatever like that. The thing is, she still hasn't told Nacho that she's pregnant. She ends up kissing him goodbye, they have sex, and then she gets in the car with Sophia and they head on to a little private estate. She has everything she needs for her. She has a butler by the name of Tati. The thing is, she doesn't speak any English. So they listen to their doctor friend, Christy, whatever like that. She's getting her to do like Pilates, yoga, stuff, like everything to make sure the baby's intact, going swimming, doing things of that nature. And basically, Beatrice heads out back and forth, to go to work and attend to duties and do stuff like that. Meanwhile, Sophia's just staying in the house chilling. Somehow throughout this time span, Sophia ends up losing her phone and she can't find it. Because eventually she wants to call Nacho making sure she's okay. Now, Sophia brings up to Beatrice that she can't find the phone. Beatrice says she's going to get her a new phone. It's probably going to take like maybe a month or two, whatever like that, for the phone to come through to get the best quality phone and all this other stuff. I'm thinking to myself, why would it take so long for a fucking phone to come through? Especially if you're a millionaire, you got connections, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's really good? So they don't give a time span, but she ends up getting like sonograms and stuff like that. And we find out she's having a boy. Now let's think to ourselves. Doesn't it take at least 4 to 5 months in the pregnancy to find out whether you're having a boy or a girl or not? Yeah. So basically it's been about 2 months. Beatrice finally gives her a tablet so Sophie can talk to her boyfriend Nacho. Nacho was trying to figure out where the heck she's been all this time. He almost called the police and she was like, please don't do that. He wanted to make sure she was okay and everything like that. So she, vaguely gave some information, whatever like that, and then she ended up hanging up the phone. She told him she'd call him back in a few days, but if you think it to yourself, like she hasn't talked to him in like 2 months. So obviously in the back of the mind, Nacho's going to think something's wrong. Now, there's been times when Sophie's been in the house by herself and then she's looking around. She looks at those books and then she'll go through those books and she sees these cameras. So she tells Beatrice she doesn't want to feel like a prisoner in the house. She's like, "Can you turn off the cameras?" Beatrice says it's for security, but she lets her know, like, "Look, I'll turn off the cameras at point inside the house. I can't turn off the ones outside." So we see this one scene where Beatrice is at work and she's talking to one of her coworkers. We find out she does want the kid, but she also wanted to keep her in the house because she felt like she was too good for the position. She might take her position one day. Then while that's going on, Sophia's checking around the house or whatever like that, but she gets to this one door that's locked and she's like, what's behind there? She ends up talking to Tati, whatever language she can understand. She talks about, "Hey, do you have any keys?" So she gets the keys to the door and opens up the door and finds out it's a room with just like a whole nursery or whatever like that. She's always wanted to have a kid, apparently. But she finds that out after she opens up the windows and blinds and whatnot. She goes in the closet and finds all these different types of clothes. So at this point, Beatrice is about to come back home. Sophie ends up closing the door. Tati closes the door. They get out the room. Now, a couple more months have gone by at this point. Sophie, over this point, has been having second thoughts about the whole situation. She wasn't really doing a whole lot of her exercises like she was supposed to. Now, there's one point where she's in the pool. And Beatrice softly ends up kicking Sophie back in the pool so she keeps doing her exercises. So you're thinking to yourself, okay, what's really good with that? Then we see this random girl named Maria coming out of Nacho's apartment talk about this Colombia stuff. Now, we don't know if he smashed or not. I don't think he did, but I guess she's like one of his advisors or something like that, setting up this whole Colombia job. What was she doing in his house? So like I said, Sophie's been having second thoughts, but Beatrice comes home with a present for her, ends up giving her a dog, and she names the dog Max. Just to give her some company or whatever like that. So one day, Sophie's wandering in the house and she realizes that Tati's missing. She goes to her room, sees no clothes there, no pictures on the wall, nothing like that. So you think to yourself, Tati got fired. And you think to yourself, well, why did she get fired? I'm pretty sure she found out somebody was in the baby carriage room because when they left out the room, they forgot to close the blinds. You could clearly see that. So I'm pretty sure that had something to do with it. So then Sophia's starting to get nervous. So Sophie's just surveying the territory. I think she's trying to figure out a way to get out of there because they have this door, right? It's a steel door for where the cars go in, but you got to press a certain button to open the steel door. Now, Beatrice is the only one with the button, the key or whatever. So basically, nobody can come in or out, and Sophie can't just go wandering around, you know what I'm saying? So then we get another time when Beatrice is at work and she's talking to her coworkers, and the coworkers find out something important. They find out that Sophia never really went to college, none of that stuff. As a matter of fact, the only thing she had was a sales clerk job. So basically, she lied to her on her application. Now, doing all this around the same time, Beatrice gets back to Sophie, whatever like that. They're about to have dinner. Turns out Sophie ended up getting a new phone, but it doesn't work. Did Beatrice cut off the power? Do they not have service out there? And she's thinking to herself in the back of her mind, she's probably trying to keep her away from Nacho. So Sophia's telling Beatrice to just take her home, forget the contract, whatever like that. And considering what Beatrice just found out, she's like, you know what, I'm going to oblige with this. But once they get to the steel door, Beatrice is trying to do it herself to convince Sophie to stay. It's like, look, this is going to benefit us both. You're going to get a lot of money, and I'm going to get a baby. So convinced of this fact and knowing she don't want to start beefing her condition or whatever like that, she ends up getting back in the car. They go back to the house. Now we get this one scene where Nacho's been trying to call Sophia's phone and he hasn't been able to reach it at all or whatever like that. Turns out we found out that Beatrice hid her phone in the room with the baby carriages and stuff. I'm like, wow. So we get this scene where Nacho takes it upon himself to go find a job or whatever like that. She goes in there, she's trying to find Beatrice, do all this other stuff, but he ends up talking to this one new advisor and she gets scared or whatever like that. So she ends up giving Nacho Beatrice's address. Beatrice is trying to drive back to the company. She gets the news and information, but then it finds out that Nacho's not there no more. So she's thinking to herself, she needs to go back to the house. But the thing is, Nacho's not there yet. Now, meanwhile, while all this is going on, Sophia's trying to find a way to escape. So she gets this ladder and she puts it up against this fence. Now, at the top of the fence is electrical wires, but she doesn't know that. So when she gets to the top of this fence, she's got this sweater that she has wrapped around her. So she puts the sweater over top of the fence, but the fence ends up electrocuting her to the sweater. She falls off the fucking ladder. I'm like, Beatrice gets there in time to help her out and all this stuff, and then she gets on the couch or whatever, and she puts some little bit of sedatives and some water or whatever like that, tells her to drink it, and it basically knocks her out for a little bit. And after she's knocked out, Beatrice is on her way to look for Nacho. Now, while she's driving around looking for Nacho, all of a sudden, Nacho appears at the door. Sophia answers the call thing after waking up for a while. He's like, yo, I'm going to come get you out of there. She's like, call the police, all this other stuff, right? But he can't call it because he's not getting any signal, so he's going to walk away from the house to try to get more signal. Beatrice comes back and finds Nacho on the road, and then she proceeds to run him over. I'm like, oh, shit. She drags this man off the road. I guess she puts him in like some shed or something like that. Then she gets over to the house, and she just starts crying in the car. Before she gets in the house, we see Sofia, and Sofia knows something happened to Nacho. So both Beatrice and Sofia sitting at the dinner table like nothing's wrong, whatever like that. So Sofia goes and she go get some water. She's like, you want anything? She's like, no, I'm good. But she comes back with a daggone 2x4 and blasts Beatrice in the fucking head. She ends up tying her up against this post. Sofia asks Beatrice where Nacho is, but Beatrice tries to play dumb and all stuff. So Sofia goes around the house. She finds the contract. She ends up finding a key to the steel door. She comes back to Beatrice and asks her where's the money. She's like, "What money?" He's like, "You better have some money in this house." So she ends up going back to the room with the baby carriage. She unlocks the door, whatever like that, where the clothes and everything is, and there's this little safe down there. This safe has got a bunch of money in it and some pearls and whatnot. She takes all that out and puts it in a bag. So at this point, we're thinking to ourselves, Nacho's dead as shit. And she tells Beatrice, "You better not tell nobody about none of this, because guess what? I got the contract, and I'll put the contract out in public if you do." So as she's about to dip, she's looking for Max. She's looking for the dog or whatever like that. But when she comes back over to the spot, she finds Beatrice gone. She somehow freed herself, right? So then she ends up choking her from behind, and then like she attacks her on the ground. She starts choking her, and then she stops for a minute. Then we find out it was something else in the bag that Sofia took. It was also a thing of scissors or whatever like that. Some golden scissors for like a golden scissors award. She grabs that and ends up stabbing Beatrice in her stomach with it, just laying her out. I think she was done dead as shit at that point, right? Last thing we see is Sofia covered in a little bit of blood. She gets the key, pushes the buttons, opens up the steel door, and starts walking out. But as she's walking down the road, her water breaks. She continuously just walking down the road, and that's how the movie ends. I'm like, what the fuck? Did she even make it to the hospital? Like, what is the deal? Even if she does make it somewhere, is she gonna end up getting arrested because of Beatrice dying? Will she also get blamed for Nacho's death too? It's like, what the fuck? Under Her Control on Netflix. This was crazy.